What is up, guys? It's your Average Joe with Average Joe Raids. Today, I have unlocked Lydia, and so I'm going to be claiming her this CVC this week. I will book her out, max her out, get her the masteries, just go the full 9 yards. She's going to impact a lot of my teams, and today we're going to go over the Undead Horde faction crypt. It's the last one that I had. I spent probably 2 hours just doing stage 21 over and over, trying to get some good RNG on some fears, the final boss, targeting, and it was just really awful, to be honest. I don't have a gore grab, and so this video is going to be highlighting a team comp that does not use a gore grab, or a Vogoth for that matter, which are both really good champions for survivability in this faction. So let's go ahead, we'll dive in. Got my Lydia, gonna wait to collect her. This is the team comp here. Let's look at the builds real quick. We will go into Undead Horde. So I used Vlad, which was a fusion. I believe there's a fragment sale going on right now if you're watching this the day it goes live. And he might be some of the fragments you could buy if you were only a couple short. Have him built out for damage. Quite a bit of attack. Speed is a little bit low, but tons of crit damage. And also accuracy to land mainly his block active skills for the Valkyrie waves. Mashald, I pulled last week. He is the champion that allowed me to finish this crypt. So the fears that he was putting on is what let me get through the Valkyrie waves, which in my opinion is the absolute worst part of faction wars. So he's built up pretty well. 40,000 health, 3,400 attack, 240 speed. Crit rate could be a little bit higher, or missing some there. 223, 260 accuracy. I also used Seeker for his provokes. I have him, basically I took everything that I put on Scylla the Drakes and I moved it onto Seeker so that he could have good speed in a relentless set with some good accuracy, some good defense. So that's what he is rocking right now. Decent health, 2,700 defense, 217 speed. Not focused on his damage, more focused on his accuracy. Getting those provokes out. My reviver that I had to use is a rare, a Grinner. He has a 4-turn cooldown, single revive, which is usable. Obviously, it's not as good as Gore Grab, so that was the big pain point here. I also have him in a regeneration set to keep him alive. Built him out with as much health as I could for a level 50 champ. Close to 40,000. Decent speed, and that's about it for him. And the last champ I used, so I was bouncing around between Lich, who has a 100% turn meter decrease and also a decreased speed, but I didn't have him booked out, and I didn't really want to try to waste the books on him just for faction wars. So I was playing around with him. Frozen Banshee's in my clan boss team, so she has to stay at this 180 speed, which is a little bit low. So I also tried to use her a little bit. I maxed out Dark Elhain specifically for this faction, ended up not using her. I was trying to use her for her decreased speed here on her A2, but didn't use her, did not use Doomscreech. Zelota. So this is what kept me alive on the final boss. His A2 here places a shield buff on all allies equal to 20% of this champion's max HP for 3 turns. Places a 15% continuous heal buff on all allies for 2 turns. This shield is what kept me alive from Zelota on the last boss. I put him in a shield set to help me out with some waves a little bit. He actually doesn't even have a necklace here. Didn't even realize that. I think I took it and gave it to Grinner for the extra HP. So that's my team. Let's go ahead and take a look. This is what I was running last night. This is what I ended up with after about 2 hours. I was recording this on my phone, so yeah. We'll take a look here. This first wave I could probably do in my sleep, honestly. The main things here are making sure that Seeker's Provokes land on the Martyrs so that Martyr doesn't ever get her counterattack off. That's going to increase the damage you're taking. It's also going to significantly increase the time that this faction takes. So Martyr's my first focus. If I can, I try to, you know, prevent that heal and increase defense from going up, but I didn't for this run. So, you know, Grinner and Zelata are pretty much doing no damage at all. Seeker's pretty much not doing damage. He's just getting provokes out. And so Mashald and Vlad are my 2 damage dealers. They're the ones that are like actually killing things. Everyone else is just kind of there. Zelata, honestly, is there for his shield set and for his A2 on the boss. On the waves, the shield set is really the only thing that he's beneficial for. So right here, on these Valkyrie waves, I use Mashald's A2 to get out the fears on everyone, even though the buffs that it gives us increases these Valkyries' turn meters. And this is a lot of RNG and running this over and over trying to get this wave to work well. Valkyrie waves are my least favorite part of this entire game. So I get all the fears off. I get a Seeker Provoke off here. And we're going for block active skills. So we land that on that Valkyrie. Get another Seeker Provoke off. So I'm just rotating. Seeker got a relentless proc there. I'm rotating my Seeker between these Valkyries, trying to lock out their skills so that they never get the shield and counterattack up. And then I try to get this other guy down. I believe this is Errol, which he hits hard when you're going against him, but kind of lackluster when you actually have him on your team. So here I'm preventing my Mashald from putting up those buffs again because I don't want to get those Valkyries to take another turn. I want to get my Seeker to go first and continually rotate those provoke procs. So being really intentional about the buffs that you put up on your team is what's helping control these Valkyries' turn meter. We don't want to let them just run wild. So it actually works out really nice here that Seeker dies at the end of this wave instead of moving on with like 1 HP. So we're able to get the revive off. We get to the boss here, and so this boss, his A2 here, or his A2, it removes all of his debuffs. So I don't want to get any like really good debuffs out here, like decreased defense, which Vlad has on his A3. It removes all his debuffs. It puts a fear on one of my targets. It stuns everyone else, and then it gives him an extra turn. His A1 is a big damage dealer. It ignores your defense and also scales off of your max HP. So it's the same clan boss, or it's the same faction boss as the Dwarf faction and the Lizards faction, and so in my opinion, it's one of the harder ones. The health swap one is also a hard one. But so we're waiting for this A2 to go off before I use Vlad's A3, which will give us a decreased defense. His passive also gives him more turn meter the more damage you do to him. So you want to be watching the damage you're doing, because if you do too much damage, he's just going to be taking a lot of turns and he will just kill pretty much your lowest HP champ, or, you know, people who don't have a lot of... He ignores defense, so it doesn't matter if they have a lot of defense or not. So I wait to use Zelata's A2 for the shield, because the shield set's already giving us a shield here. So he smacks Seeker, just pretty much takes the shield away. Seeker giving us increased turn meter is good here. Since Seeker's shield fell off and he was only about half health, I put on Zelata's shield. He goes for Vlad instead. We get increased speed out of Mashal. Mashal gives a big hit. Vlad gets smacked there. Seeker's giving us turn meter. Mashal and Vlad are doing big damage, so they're the ones that increase the boss's turn meter most. Zelota just got hit there. We get his shield back on. Seeker constantly increasing turn meter. I think I get really lucky with Relentless procs. I forget to use his A2 there on the last one though. Mashal gets some huge damage. Vlad gets smacked again. Seeker with the increased turn meter gets Mashal full, and Mashal's last hit is what ends it. So you can see here, Mashal is a lot of this damage is his A1 hitting everyone that has a leech on them. And so it's basically an AoE hit, but I think it does act as individual hits. He's also healing a ton because of that. Because of the leech there, and then he heals himself based on damage done on his A1, and he puts continuous heals on himself from his A3. He's a beast. Vlad's doing quite a bit of damage there himself. Zelota is there for the shields, mainly on the final boss, and the shield set. Seeker is there for the provoke and also for the increased turn meter. And Grinner is just there for a reviver. You saw we only needed the one revive on Seeker on the second wave, but it was crucial because Seeker, you know, obviously you have to have everyone up for 3 stars, but then Seeker also giving us the increased turn meter on the boss was huge. So that is Undead Horde without Gore Grab. Let's take a look at the champs in Undead Horde. So it's not a budget team by any means. It does have 2 legendaries. One of them was a fusion though. But you're looking at Undead Horde. Mausoleum Mage gives you lots of buffs. Gore Grab gives you a full team revive. Bogoth gives you a ton of heals. You've got some incredibly good legendaries for this faction. Bad L is amazing. Rotos is a huge damage dealer. Siphi is amazing. So there are good legendaries in this team. There's a lot of legendaries in this faction. I just was unlucky with pulling until I got Mashal recently. So that's Undead Horde. Hopefully that gives you guys a little bit of insight on how to finish it without a Gore Grab and without a Vogoth, using a rare reviver, Grinner, and the shield from Zelota. We basically were able to finish this faction. Hopefully that guy gets you to your Lydia, and you guys can finish your Undead Horde and move on to the next faction, and I will put out some more guides on other factions. Have a great week this week. Stay average, my friends.